Emily, a waitress working double shifts to make ends meet, noticed a grieving widow sitting alone in corner of the dinner. Sensing her pain, Emily decided to pay for the woman's meal out of her own pocket. Little did she know, this small act of kindness would change her life forever. Just 2 days later, a lawyer arrived with the news that would alter Emily's world in ways she could never have imagined. Hi everyone, welcome to Kindness Talks. Today I'm excited to share a new story with you. Emily had worked at Rosie's Diner for 3 years. She loved meeting new people and hearing their stories, but the woman sitting alone in the corner booth that evening was different. Her shoulders were hunched, her hands trembled, and her red-rimmed eyes stared blankly at the untouched plate of food before her. Emily's heart ached as she approached the table, sensing the weight of the woman's sorrow. The woman's name was Margaret, and she had recently buried her husband of 42 years. Henry had been her partner, her rock, and her reason for smiling. Now, her days felt hollow, and her nights unbearable. After the funeral, unable to face the silence of her empty home, she wandered into the diner, hoping to feel a sliver of normalcy. Emily placed Margaret's plate on the table and asked softly, "Ma'am, is everything okay?" Margaret hesitated, then whispered, "I just lost my husband. Today was his funeral." Her voice cracked, and her hands trembled as she reached for a napkin to wipe away the tears that streamed down her face. Emily felt a lump form in her throat. She wanted to say something comforting but knew no words could mend a broken heart. Instead, she simply said, "I'm so sorry for your loss." Margaret nodded faintly, and Emily walked away, giving her space. A while later, Margaret signaled for the check, but as she fumbled through her purse, Emily noticed her hesitation. Without a second thought, Emily decided to cover the bill herself. "It's on me," she said with a kind smile. Margaret's eyes widened in surprise. "Oh, no, I can't let you do that," she protested. Emily shook her head gently. "Please, let me. Everyone needs a little kindness, especially on days like this." Tears welled up in Margaret's eyes as she whispered, "Thank you." 2 days later, as Emily was finishing her shift, a man in a sharp suit entered the diner carrying a briefcase. He looked around before approaching her. "Are you Emily Carter?" he asked. Confused, she replied, "Yes, that's me." The man extended his hand. "I'm David Foster, a lawyer representing Margaret Thompson," he said. Emily's brow furrowed. "Margaret? The woman who was here a couple of nights ago?" David nodded. "She asked me to find you. She wanted to express her gratitude for your kindness." Emily smiled softly. "Oh, it was nothing. I just paid for her meal." David's expression softened. "To you, it might have been nothing, but to her, it meant everything. Margaret told me you reminded her that there's still goodness in the world, even in her darkest moments." David handed Emily an envelope. She opened it to find a handwritten note from Margaret. "Dear Emily, your kindness was a light in the darkness of my grief. My husband and I never had children, but if we had, I would have hoped they'd grow up to be someone like you. Thank you for reminding me of the beauty in humanity." Behind the note was a legal document. Emily's eyes widened as she read the words, "A gift of $50,000. Stunned, she looked up at David, who explained, "Margaret wants you to use this money to pursue your dreams." Overwhelmed with emotion, Emily tried to contact Margaret to thank her, but David explained that Margaret preferred to remain private. "She wants you to move forward and live your best life," he said. Over the next few weeks, Emily thought deeply about what she wanted to do. She had always dreamed of becoming a nurse, but financial struggles had kept her from pursuing it. With Margaret's gift, she enrolled in a nursing program and worked tirelessly to achieve her goal, inspired by the generosity of a woman she barely knew. Years later, Emily stood on stage at a charity gala, addressing a crowd. She had graduated with honors, worked as a nurse, and started a foundation named the Henry and Margaret Compassion Fund to support underprivileged students pursuing careers in healthcare. Years ago, Emily began, "A grieving widow taught me the power of kindness. She reminded me that even the smallest acts can ripple through the lives of others. Her generosity changed my life, and I hope this foundation will do the same for many more." The audience erupted in applause. As Emily stepped off the stage, she looked upward, silently thanking Margaret and Henry for their gift, not just of money, but of hope and inspiration. Margaret had shown her, and the world, that even the smallest acts of kindness can create ripples that change lives forever.